The morning sun cast long rays across the wide courtyard of St. Clair Academy, a private high school known for its wealthy students, polished hallways, and unspoken hierarchy. The marble steps gleamed as students in neatly pressed uniforms carried designer bags, whispering and laughing in cliques that reflected their social status. At the very center of this hierarchy sat Adrian Calloway, the son of a billionaire real estate mogul, who was used to walking into any room and commanding attention. He wasn't just rich, he flaunted it, and the entire school enabled his arrogance because no one dared to challenge him. His shoes alone cost more than some families earned in a month, and his careless smirk made it clear that he believed every inch of this campus belonged to him. But that morning the air felt different, like the tension of a storm brewing beneath clear skies. A new transfer student stepped through the gates, carrying nothing but a simple backpack and the quiet confidence of someone who wasn't here to be noticed, but wouldn't let herself be ignored. Her name was Alara Hayes. She wasn't from money, nor did she care for appearances. Her uniform was neat but not new, her shoes plain, her hair tied back with no unnecessary glamour. Yet her eyes held a focus that made those who glanced at her feel unsettled, as if she could see right through them. As she entered her new classroom, whispers followed. "That's the new girl. She looks so plain. Probably a scholarship kid." In St. Clair that word carried a sting. Scholarship students were often looked down on, treated as charity cases who didn't belong among the wealthy elite. Alara didn't flinch at the whispers. She had heard them before. What none of them knew was that beneath her calm, ordinary appearance lay years of rigorous martial arts training. Her father, a retired soldier, had raised her with discipline, strength, and the mindset never to bow to arrogance. She had promised him she'd stay out of trouble. But trouble had a way of finding her. The teacher hadn't arrived yet, and students milled about, claiming seats. Alara walked toward the back row by the window. It was her habit to sit where she could observe without drawing attention. But as she reached the desk she had chosen, she stopped. Sitting there with his legs sprawled out, one arm draped lazily over the chair, was Adrian Calloway. His expensive watch gleamed in the light, and his half-smile suggested he already knew what was about to happen. "That's my seat," Alara said, her tone calm, direct, leaving no room for argument. The room fell silent. No one had ever spoken to Adrian like that, not even the teachers who often tiptoed around him. Adrian tilted his head slowly, as if he couldn't believe his ears. Then he laughed, a sharp, mocking sound. "Your seat. Do you know who you're talking to?" His friends snickered around him, already sensing entertainment. Alara didn't flinch. "I don't care who you are. You're in my seat. Move." The air in the room shifted. Some students gasped, others leaned forward. They had seen scholarship kids before, but none had dared to challenge Adrian. The hierarchy was law here, and Adrian always won. His smirk widened as he leaned back in the chair. "Why don't you take another seat, sweetheart? This one feels comfortable. And besides," he gestured around as if presenting himself on a stage, "I don't move for anyone." Murmurs rippled through the room. Some whispered, "She's crazy." Others whispered, "This is going to end badly." Adrian's friends leaned back, eager to watch him crush the new girl's confidence. But Alara didn't waver. Her gaze remained fixed on him, unwavering and unblinking. "I said," she repeated softly, her voice even colder than before, "move." For a brief second, Adrian's smirk faltered. Something in her eyes unsettled him, though he quickly masked it with arrogance. He leaned forward now, resting his elbows on the desk. "And if I don't, what will you do, new girl? Cry? Run to the teacher? People like you don't get to order me around." He reached down and shoved her backpack aside with his foot, a deliberate act of disrespect. Laughter erupted in the room. Alara inhaled slowly. She remembered her father's words, "Restraint is power, but never let arrogance trample you." She knelt, picked up her bag calmly and set it aside. Then she straightened to her full height, her expression unreadable. Adrian's smirk deepened. "That's what I thought. Obedient. Knew you'd back down." But before anyone could react, Alara moved. In one swift motion she pulled the chair back, not violently, but with just enough force to unbalance Adrian. He stumbled forward, catching himself on the desk, his expression snapping from smugness to shock. The class collectively gasped. No one had ever dared touch him before. Alara slid the chair aside and stood before the desk, her presence commanding the room, though she hadn't raised her voice once. Adrian straightened, his face twisting with disbelief and anger. "You," He began, but his words stuck in his throat. For the first time, he was the one who didn't know what to do. The classroom was dead silent. Even the ticking of the wall clock seemed louder. Students stared wide-eyed, their breaths caught in their throats. Adrian Calloway, the untouchable king of St. Clair Academy, had just been challenged in a way no one had ever imagined. And the calm, fearless girl standing before him wasn't backing down. The door creaked open as the teacher finally entered, oblivious to the storm in the room. Elara slipped quietly into the seat as though nothing had happened, leaving Adrian frozen in place, his pride shattered before the entire class. But this was only the beginning. What Elara had done in that single moment, pulling the chair out from under the richest, most arrogant boy in school, would ripple through the halls of St. Clair like wildfire. By lunch, the story would spread to every corner of campus, and by the end of the day, Adrian Calloway would make a vow to put the new girl in her place. Little did he know, Elara Hayes wasn't someone who could be broken. She was someone who could break others.